Hi, welcome to Queens Talking Reality. I'm Farron, this is
Elisa.
Please like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Today we'll be recapping, talking the tea, the gossip, the drama, everything about Housewives of Potomac. We're about to go live.
Watch us now. Hey, we are back. Queens Talking Reality, Housewives of Potomac. We're going to just jump right into it. Thank you, guys. We're going to put up the link to our Instagram and our Facebook page at the end of this. And don't forget to, subscribe, hit the link in our, description, and join us in our little chit chats off of YouTube. But let's jump right into it. Episode 10. And
I thought this was already episode 10.
I know, right? It's going fast. And then they keep having like continuations. They had like 3 continuations where it seemed to kind of like a couple of them was like continuing from when they were on vacation. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I think that's another reason why it kind of went fast.
I wonder how many episodes for this season, because I'm like 10 already. I mean, it's been a good season. I actually like it.
Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. But this one, they start out with a reasonably shady podcast with Gizelle and Robyn. And they're celebrating, what are they celebrating? I think they're celebrating doing a live, and they're having their rehearsal.
They're celebrating, they have like 1 million listeners or 1 million times people listen to their thing, to their podcast. They also were nominated for an NAACP award. And now they're taking this podcast live. I heard the podcast and it's not entertaining to me. It's not entertaining. I don't know, maybe because I'm not a fan of Gizelle and Robyn as a duo. There was they had chat room. Remember with Portia, Gizelle, and 2 other white ladies. I don't know from what show. I found that a little bit more entertaining than that podcast. Remember it came on Bravo? Well, anyway. But I don't find Robyn and Gizelle that entertaining. Gizelle is more entertaining than Robyn, but their podcast is not entertaining where I would pay money to see them live. I don't want to listen to them.
I've tried. I know I've tried for a few episodes for the first 10 minutes. And then when I look at the summary, it seemed like I'm watching it. A lot of time I try to listen to it after Sunday when the show goes off. And I'm thinking they're going to recap some of it or maybe get into, some behind the scenes like Candy does on her, what is it called? Candy, whatever it's called when she comes on live. Yes, speak on it. So I thought it was something similar to that, but it seemed like they'll have an explosive episode on Potomac. They come right on Monday, and then they don't talk nothing of it. Maybe I'm missing it, but the first 10 minutes, I'm looking for something. I'm looking throughout it. I scroll through, and then I see the summary, and they mention nothing about their behind the scenes, their feelings. They don't talk nothing of it.
Yeah, the podcast is not geared towards the show, so it seems like Beverly, not all, but some of the shows they have one cast member who actually do YouTube. I think they would have probably been better off recapping the show.
Yeah,
more people listen in because they are the Green Eye Bandits. I think the whole podcast and them just talking about regular topics is boring to me. I really don't care what their opinions on regular topics.
I don't either, especially when you're having an explosive episode where she's saying she's doing a Me Too movement on Chris, somebody they ready to go, they going to blows, and then you come on and you speak nothing about behind the scenes. This is why a lot of us know you from Potomac. So why would you not? And I'm not saying the whole thing needs to be centered around Potomac, but I think a segment should be, because that's where we know them from. And then maybe taper off into something else. But no.
Podcast is every Monday?
I don't know. I listen to it when it comes on. I listen to it right after. I think it might come on Mondays. Yeah. It comes on maybe twice a week or once a week. But I just happen to listen to it on afterwards to see maybe what they're talking about. So I don't even know when they put up.
Well, I'm not. I heard it. I wasn't interested. Moving
I
right
wasn't either. I
along.
was disappointed.
So, now Karen is actually doing a live. I would actually prefer listening to Karen or maybe listening to her speak about something more than Gizelle and Robyn, to be honest. One
Mm-hmm.
reason because Karen started her business. So I'd be curious. She came on board. She was like riding her husband's the Black Bill Gates coattail. She started her own perfume. She has all these other essentials for her line. Karen's been married for a long time with Ray, so that's really good to see how she keeps up. She's a mother. She's older. She seems she's wise. I would rather probably go listen to her speak than the other two blondes.
Yeah, I'm just not that into like when I last listened to them, which was like right after the Wendy fight, the Wendy and Mia fight, and I'm thinking like, oh, they're gonna talk about something because it was the episode right after that episode. So I'm thinking they're gonna speak about it, and then I'm hearing Gizelle talking about her neighbors were upset because she was throwing a party. No, I think they threw a party and they didn't invite her to her next door neighbor. So the party looked so great and grand, and they didn't even extend an invitation, but they don't even
Ooh,
really.
to Gizelle.
Giselle, she was basically talking. Yeah, she was basically talking about her neighbors didn't invite her to the. It could have been vice versa, or she had a party and she didn't invite the neighbors, but they don't really speak anyway. So she was saying that she expected an invite because it looked so like lit up in there, but they didn't invite her. Like, I really don't care about the party that you didn't get invited to or you wanted an invitation to. Like, I'm here to talk about the behind the scenes of Wendy getting like, water splashed in her face. Like, you talked nothing about it. And it was literally the next episode. So I was just disappointed. And I said, oh, never again. I'm not even wasting my 5 minutes of my time.
No, not interested.
So after they celebrate and they're going through the rehearsals for their, I think they're gonna have like a live show, and they're
Audience.
down. What'd you say?
It's gonna be live with an audience.
Yeah, because they are affiliated with Black Effect. That's Charlemagne's like network of podcasts. Maybe one day we'll be on there soon. And so they're having like a Black Effect type of like live audience, and he does that a lot with a lot of his podcasts on his show. So they're having a live, and they just like chit chatting, and they speak about Robyn and her asking Juan for a prenup. They flash back to the episode to like when she asked him, and same thing. What you think?
I'm bored. I'm bored with Robyn and Juan. She bores me. I actually liked her in this episode more than any other episode, but I really don't care about Robyn and Juan. Like, maybe the first season was interesting. Maybe by the second season it was interesting. It got a little bit more interesting when he proposed to her. Now it's just like this is dragging on every season after season after season. No, this should not even be a topic. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and to me, I think that he's also bored. Juan, he's bored with it too. Like, you could just see every time he comes on camera, he just looks so uninterested in like the
Like,
show.
he doesn't want to be on the show.
He does not want to be on. He's either not interested in her, or not interested in the show, or both, or one or the other. Both.
I think it's both. He's just disconnected from the show and her, and a little bit of this fame has gotten to her head. I think she may have changed.
I don't know. I think she's protecting her assets, and I give that to her. Like, I do. I am all for.
I'm saying towards him. Maybe she's changed towards him. Now she's the one making more money. She's the famous one. She's this. Sometimes women change and they get a little beside themselves, and he's probably like, "Fuck it, I'm not even gonna be on the show." Maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying. I really don't care about them.
And he doesn't either. So then they move right along to talking about Gizelle asked Robyn about her and Wendy's like kumbaya moments and them coming together and hugging it out.
When Wendy was drunk. I mean, later on we'll see what happens between her and Wendy. But I was just wondering, how would that conflict with Gizelle and Robyn's friendship?
Yeah, and I liked that when Gizelle did ask Robyn about it, because I think from previous episodes and seasons, Robyn seemed to be in Gizelle's shadow, and as if she was like kind of like a kiss ass of Gizelle. And I feel like when Gizelle did ask her about, her and Wendy, she could have easily been kind of sucking Giselle's ass. Oh no, we're not friends. We didn't do nothing. Never. Like, I'm not going to portray
Yeah.
you, my queen. But she didn't do
I'm
all of that. Like,
surprised, yeah.
I like that she was like, yeah, we're going to see, what happens. I gave her a chance. We hugged it out, whatever she said, but basically let Gizelle know, like, yes, we did have like a moment and it was a nice moment. And then Gizelle was basically like, good luck with that. Like, she didn't like try to dissuade her, or she was just like, good luck.
Yeah, I'm surprised Gizelle too didn't try to throw more shade on Wendy. Like, girl, you gonna try to talk to her? So I appreciate that Robyn was honest that there could be some type of reconciliation between her and Wendy, and I also like the fact that Gizelle didn't try to stop it.
Exactly. That's what I appreciated. Like, they let each other be like who they are without like tainting their opinions and their actions. I'm all for having your own personality and not being influenced by each other one way or another. Like, let each other be who they are. And that's it.
Yeah, or like, oh, if I'm not her friend, you're not her friend either. So I appreciated that conversation.
So then the next scene was Candace and how she's getting, like, she has 2 degrees now and a master's in business. So that's kind of cool. I didn't even know that she was like studying as hard at work. Like, I don't remember like seeing her going to school.
Candace is very smart. She was like in the Obama camp, and they kind of show her she was like one time in like some sort of politics or whatever. So she's very intelligent.
Yeah.
Well, so I was very happy to see that one of these franchises with Black women showed education, like as far as celebrating it. Every time it's always a party, someone's birthday party, or just some silly party, or just to have a party, costume party, Halloween party, holiday party. So I was just happy to see someone celebrate graduating. Education. That was different, and I was actually happy for Candace. So that was good to see, because like Wendy with her 4 degrees, it was previous to the show. So it's nice to see someone accomplish something when it's geared to education and that is celebrated. That's what I was saying. It wasn't just a party, just a party.
Absolutely.
So Candace. And that was a good move on her part, getting a master's in business. Again, she's trying to do her record deal. She has other businesses. So instead of paying somebody that has the knowledge, you have your own knowledge. So that's one person less on your payroll.
Yes, go girl. I'm all for Black excellence. Go girl.
So I like this episode when they did show that, because they could have edited that whole part out too. Yeah.
And she talks about like Candace talks about how, I guess she starts to get, her C now goes away, and she remembers that she did in fact speak on Karen and her creeping around on the low with a blue-eyed white guy.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that in last video. Watch our last video. Lisa mentioned it. So I think it was good that she admitted to it, even though she said a producer told her, and she said she forgot. I don't know how true that is, but they pulled her card and she was able to accept it. I mean, once a producer said you said it, you can't be like, I did it. I mean, obviously they know, they have it on tape. So she had no other option but to admit that she actually did say it. But if it wasn't for that producer, that girl deny until
I don't think she did on purpose. I think like she actually did forget, because she's too quick to like take accountability for it. Like, a lot of times people deny it, they make excuses. You gotta drag an apology out of them. Like, she was really like quick with the apology and the memory like coming back. Like,
the producer said, I don't think Candace forgot when she first, because her face alone when Ashley said it was like, so I'm caught. And she wasn't very like convincing that she didn't say it. It wasn't convincing. So I think she remembered saying it, but hoping that maybe they didn't tape it or they're not going to air it, and she probably could lie. A lot of people do it. They say things to professionals that they know they said, and they're probably thinking, because there's so many scenes that happens and so many scenes that's not aired and so many edits. So you could have said something and denied it through the show because you don't want to have any bad relations with that person. And then
Yeah,
by the
true.
time the show airs is the reunion, they confront you at the reunion and be like, oh, it was a year ago or whatever else. So I think she knew she said it. And she tried to deny because she didn't want to have any conflict with Karen. And then the producer said, well, you did say, which I'm very surprised. I didn't know producers would have said she said it. They would have just let it be.
Yeah.
And that, threw it at her at the reunion or when she's watching on TV. So I thought it was like, why did the producer kind of tell her that?
And I'm glad that, they did, and she kind of took accountability for it. But she got to know, like you said, it's kind of like if you're creeping around with some white, blue-eyed dude, like, even if I did, like, lie about it, but like, I know you are. Like, technically, I know, like, it's not something that's like, I didn't say. Like, I can say if she really didn't say it, but you got to know within yourself, like, do I know if Farrah's creeping around with a white dude? And what is the probability of me saying that? Like, I know you are. So why would I deny it and lie when I know that I really think it and I probably saw you, whatever? I don't know. I just think, like you said, she probably most likely didn't know that she said it.
She knew she said it. She was just denying it.
And caught out there. And if you want the show, you're gonna know. We know how shady the editors are and the producers. Like, she gotta know they're about to rewind it back real quick on you. So stop, girl.
I'm surprised the producer told her, "Oh, you said it." I was like, "They do that? I didn't know they did that. I thought they let you hang yourself."
They must like her. I think they have their favorites, and that's what. When I was listening to Carlos King, he did make reference to like the producers having like relationships, like how he's cool with a lot of the housewives even now, even though he's not producing this show anymore. He had a lot of relationships with the cast members while working on the show, and he was saying that a lot of them do have intimate relationships with them where they do look out for them and they do protect a lot of them, like their favorites. So they probably did like do that, like, hey girl, we don't want you on these streets looking stupid. Now you did say it. Like, so I'm sure it was one of those things.
Considering last time when they had the whole debacle of her or with Gizelle and her about Chris, she actually spoke to one of the producers. Remember that scene when she went to the production room? So maybe she has some sort of relationship with one of them. Well, he called her like, girl, let me tell you, we're about to air this and we have it on tape.
Yes.
We're going to correct it now. So.
Yeah. So the next scene is with Karen and her the former assistant, the white guy that played on the show like previously.
Yeah, I don't know. She said she known him from 17. I'm like, he's helping her. I guess he's a good asset or assistant, whatever he is. He's helped her with a lot of her ventures, and he's helping her now with this live that she's trying to do. But from all the housewives, I think Potomac, I guess they have different producers. They're hilarious with all the animations they include or Karen's faces or the sounds they make. I think they make it very comical because the scene when the guy was talking, they showed Karen's facial reaction to it. So, he's helping her out. They make it seem like Karen is trying to copy Gizelle and Robyn.
I think she is. Like, it's obvious.
Because they went back and showed when I think it was Gizelle that mentioned, oh yeah, we're making a lot of money on this podcast, and there's like ding, 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 ding. So do you feel like she's actually following what they're doing?
I don't know. I do think like, and it's nothing wrong with saying that. And that's what I do hate a lot of times about like people that I know and people that I'm surrounded by. Like, it's nothing wrong with being influenced by your peers and, them having a good influence on you. I just don't like the creeping and doing it and then acting like, if I'm having a live show tomorrow and then, the next day you talk about having a live show and you're not even making reference to, and it just comes out of nowhere. And I just had a live and you're not even making reference to, hey, Lisa, like, you definitely influenced me. I love what you did. Like, I feel inspired. I'm going to do, like, there's nothing wrong with having friends that inspire you. I just don't like people that do it and act like you had nothing to do with it. Like, give me my props because I'm going to take it no matter what.
So Gizelle and Robyn had a podcast. It wasn't live audience. So Karen is making it seem like she came up with this having a live audience event, and now she's finding out that Gizelle and Robyn is doing it. I mean, there is a possibility.
I don't think no. It's Gizelle and Robyn already established that they was having a live. They have a podcast. They do that like how we do our podcast, but they're actually having a live experience. I think that's two different things. The podcast, yeah. I don't think Karen's copying their podcast, but Gizelle and Robyn are making an experience out of it where you're coming into a studio. They're gonna have like a whole event set up. And now Karen is doing the same thing. She's having a live experience. I think that's the same thing. I think she's copying and she's trying to make it like it's a different experience, but it's the same concept. Like you're still having a live experience of a Karen Huger, like question asking and getting to know her. And the same thing Gizelle and Robyn are doing with their live. So I just think Robyn, again, I mean, not Robyn, Karen, like with the candle thing, when Wendy went to her to ask advice about the candle, and then next thing you know, Karen has like a forward candle or, you know, trying to one up Wendy. And like I said, to me, that gives me, a bad taste in my mouth when people do that, because I've had that done.
Well, with the Wendy situation, I don't fault Karen because Wendy came and told her about her business idea. Karen said she already had candles planned. So there was no reason for her to tell Wendy, oh, by the way, I have candles, because when she was interviewed, she said at that moment it was about Wendy and guiding her on how to go about making a great business move. She already had her candles ready. I don't think she was able to
get. But how do we know that? Or she's saying that? How do we know that Karen really had candles? We don't know. I could say the same thing because I don't want. Like I said, she's making up excuses. She's making up excuses. Oh yeah, I had a live planned a year ago, and we just happened to be coming out with it at the same time. Like that's what I'm saying. These are things that give me a bad taste in my mouth when you don't like. You go to all these extents, trying to prove that you're not trying to copy me, but meanwhile you are, and I am influencing you to be better. And tell me that. Give me my credit, and I'll encourage you. But don't lie.
So who do you think will be more successful at the live event, Karen or Gizelle and Robyn?
I think Karen, because Karen is older. She's the grand dame. Like, I just think she has she has more positive fanfare with her, whereas Gizelle and Robyn, people love them and people love to hate them. So I just don't know how much supporters she will get. Whereas Karen, I feel like she has a lot of positivity behind her.
I agree.
Karen doesn't get a lot of hate.
Yeah, I think she has a lot of people that would actually go to her event. And you said you met her at BravoCon. She was very nice.
She was very nice, and I loved how, we cut the line, and it was so many people to waiting on the line to see Karen. And, Karen came in while the people were waiting on the line. And when I looked, I was like, I'm not waiting on this line. I knew if I even would have waited on the line, I would not, because a lot of times you wait on a line and the line is 2 hours and they're only there for an hour to do the guest appearance or whatever. So I was like, So we were standing on the side, and Karen actually called us over and was like, come in. And then she was posing
yeah, I saw the pictures.
And we did 5 different pictures.
Yeah, yes. So I think she'll do a good event.
I loved her. And and after that, I met up with Gizelle and Wendy were together. And it was okay. I was like, hey, I had to put my heels on for you ladies. And then Gizelle was like, we like the talls. And then that was it. So it didn't feel it was cool, but I felt more warmth coming from Karen.
Gotcha. I like Karen. I like season 1.
Yeah, so I mean, they were talking. Karen and the assistant were talking about the live. I felt like the assistant, he is doing a lot of too much assisting. He was coming up with all the ideas, and the shady editors, they had him acting like a motor mouth. He just wouldn't stop talking.
Yeah, that's what I was saying with the producers. We had him keep going and going and going. It was so many ideas in one. Changing your clothes. Then he mentioned drag queens. I'm like, what is a drag? It was just a lot going on for that event. But later on, they showed a clip Karen is going to go to Robyn and Gizelle's live and kind of take notes of what works and doesn't work and what she means.
And that's what I'm saying. give me, if you're gonna come to my show to support me and then you're gonna have your live, at least give me credit to let me know like I'm doing my job as an influencer and like positive vibes here. You catching the vibe. Like, but don't act like you ain't catching this vibe here. Stop.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like.
I agree.
Yeah, so then Wendy and her husband, they talk about that, and she's like a keynote speaker somewhere. It was like a scene.
Yes.
I didn't even know why they included that in the scene. I was like looking at it like, what would I talk about here in this scene? It was nothing.
Nothing. Wendy without makeup, that was about it.
Yeah, and it was nothing. Like, they could have left that scene out, but I guess they wanted to give her a little airplay. I think that's what that was about. And then Robyn and Candace meet up.
Yeah, that was sad about Robyn's friend.
Yeah.
Other episodes when she does Robyn's hair. She said
Yeah,
her
it seemed like her
brother-in-law died in a tragic car accident.
I know, I hate it. And then Robyn looked really like shaken up by it. And it's just so sad. Like, it always, every time I see stories and hear stuff about that, it just like makes you reflect on life. Like how 1 minute, you could be here and tomorrow you're not. Like, it's just so like devastating, especially like a car accident. It's not like a disease. Not that either one of them is good, but it's like a tragedy. Like when someone's healthy and here and happy, and then tomorrow they're gone. And that's what it like made me reflect on.
Yeah, I felt really bad when she wasn't like a main cast person, but just sad. It was just hearing that is sad. I kind of wanted to know more that she has kids. Like, what's going on? I kind of wanted to hear more about it. But when she's like, oh, I didn't really want to be, I'm like, oh my God, I have to remember these women have a job. It's a job for them.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you could have just canceled Candace, but if production already have everything scheduled and expecting you to air, film that day, they block the restaurant, whatever else. If it's nothing tragic that happened to you, your ass better be at work the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first take. And when she was in motion, she go, I really didn't want to be here today. My whole thing was like, okay, if you're so depressed, you're really here for Candace for lunch or whatever, you could do it a different day. But I get it. This is a job. This is when they wanted to air that episode. So I'm happy on Candace kind of like let it go because, again, it was just petty nonsense. And it's good to see that they really do have a friendship, that they were both able to move forward and continue their friendship. And I like that Robyn told Candace that, I've been supportive with you. I told Gizelle that I don't agree with her opinions of Chris. So I also like that she made it clear to Candace that she was supportive. And she is supportive of the whole situation, Gizelle and Chris.
Yeah. And I think also that like with the friend, the hairstylist, and their family, like her experiencing this tragedy in her life, I do think it helped. And it was kind of like bittersweet. Like, when life is so short, like, let's not even fight over this petty nonsense. This is trivial in comparison to what, we got to just, let these stupid petty things slide. So I think that also kind of gave some kind of like light to the situation where it helped Robyn a little bit, like, to be more forgiving and softer and not come in with guns blazing.
To I think mostly Wendy, because Candace, she didn't really have much against Candace. I mean, she wasn't that upset. I think Candace was even more upset. I think it helped her not even talk about it. Like, if you're going through something, like I'm going through a lot of stuff, deal with my friend, I'm here for my friend, I don't even want to talk about this. Let's just move on from it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that helped with the situation. Like, that's trivial in comparison. So I just think that did like let her like, I don't even want to give this any of like capacity in my brain, like to take up space. Like, let's just, like you said, move forward with this. So I do think it, it gave, helped out a little bit what, it could do, even though it's just tragic situation. So then, I didn't understand why Candace didn't tell her though, like, because they seem to focus on the live and maybe the editors, how sometimes they can edit stuff out, like from what everybody else said when they corrected us and they were like that Candace did say some positive things on the live in regards to Robyn.
Yeah, I thought
she didn't really speak about that because I would have checked her on there. Like, girl, did you listen to the whole thing? Because why you putting me on Front Street blasting me when I talked so positive about you? Like, it just seemed like Candace kind of like, just took ownership and didn't like, did she really say anything positive about Robyn? Because she didn't like speak on it.
That's what I said too. Because Shucks Robyn, you're the only one in this group that's with me, or I feel this way about it. But that was like, she didn't say that because I didn't hear the live. But I know last time when we did live, someone mentioned, she said some positive stuff about Robyn. But she didn't mention, I guess Candace too kept it short. It was like, Robyn's going through something now. And that also showed me Candace is a good friend to Robyn. Because she just was like, okay, let's move on. She didn't really get into the nitty gritty of the whole live again and what Robyn did to her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It didn't really go far. And these little petty things, they got feet sometimes, and they just go and snowball out of control. So I do like that they just like, you know, said they're sorry, hugged it out, and got over it quickly. Yeah. And then the next scene was with Mia and her lovely husband and their chiropractor offices. I didn't even like, I don't know where that came from. Like, why are they opening up, or like, are they doctors? Or I guess you don't have to be a doctor to open up, you know, practices. I thought you do, but I guess they're more so on investors. So I don't know.
I think they were investing with other people. I don't think these, I don't know. But I feel like they're just they're investing in these chiropractors. Like, they're not full owners. That's how I feel. Maybe he's a doctor and he needs somebody else, an up-and-coming doctor that probably needs some help with buying the property. But who knows? I mean, Mia, of course, was bragging. She has 14 of these. She's opening another office. This is brag.
Whatever. And thank you, and Lima, for joining us in the live. Welcome. Hope you continue to, and hope you subscribe. Hit that button. But yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like, and then I saw like a post up later on how they were saying that a family member robbed them later on of a lot of their businesses. So they seem to be like going under and something like that. It just seemed like there's a lot of fishiness going on with them, their money, and I don't know. It's just like things popping up out of nowhere. They got businesses like chiropractor businesses everywhere now. I don't know. It seems a little fishy to me.
Probably hiding money.
That's what I'm saying. It could be laundering.
And like, how many chiropractors? Like, do people go? I don't know. Do you go to the chiropractor like that? Like, you need to open all these chiropractors all over the state.
I think they do. I think there are enough people with like these back problems. You know, people with back problems, people suffer. So I can see it. But to me, I guess they're like, you know, their pockets, they got deep pockets. I can see like if I'm a doctor and I may not have the money to open up like an extravagant business, I guess that's where they come in, because they seem to be like these big time investors. So I think they could be like opening up these franchise chiropractor businesses all over the world. But I don't know. To me, I get like these weird vibes like from them. Like, is it a legit business? Like when they talking about getting robbed by family members overnight, she's putting up posts. To me, it just seems fishy. Like, who can rob your business overnight and leave you? I just don't see that happening when you're this big time investor that has this opening up practices all over the world, and then you put up a post saying that a family member robbed you overnight of all of your like practices that you have now. I don't. It just seems weird to me that there's some kind of scam going on.
The best friend that was basically keeping all the books, but is it me, or did they not even have anybody there at the grand opening? It looked like they had like maybe 10, 20 people. They huddled them together. It wasn't like a big crowd or anything. I'd be like, wow, it looked pretty dead to me, that event.
It's giving me Drew vibes. You remember when she opened up the weight loss business, and you remember she had it at some place they rented out for the day?
Yeah, but at least the other housewife showed up. This one was only Karen. Anybody else showed up? I think it was just Karen.
I didn't see. Yeah,
it looked empty. It ran empty. Didn't see nobody showed up at that grand event.
I'm getting scammer vibes. I don't know, but you know the subscribers and people that's watching, they gotta be like, y'all are haters. But
this is just facts.
That's the vibe I get, and I'm telling my honest opinion, but we do say like, we balance it out. You know, we give positive opinions, and sometimes they're negative. Like, we can't all love everything together and be all kumbaya, and everything is great. It's not.
It was empty.
And she gives scammer vibes.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Ashley and her aunt, they talk about
Chris,
her situation. Yeah.
Michael. I feel a bit bad for Ashley. I don't know. It's like I'm on the fence. Do I feel bad for her? Do I not feel bad for her? Do I believe her tears? Do I not believe her tears? Is she really that? But then when I think about a young woman, 2 kids living in a house by herself, could be scary. I don't know how I feel, if I feel bad for her or not. I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's natural to feel bad for her in a sense, but I feel bad for her like in a way where it's like privilege problems. Like, girl, put your grown panties on and like woman up and take care of your responsibilities and start these streams of income. Like, now it's better than ever to start businesses, especially when you have a platform like Housewives of Potomac. So I just feel like she has privilege problems. Like, it's not like it's something that she can get over. And I just think that she's just so used to Michael providing that it's almost like she got to like have her own wings to fly now and just like leave the coop. And I don't think she's ready to leave. But that's like kind of me looking at a child. I would feel better. I would feel more sympathetic toward a child who's going out on their own and going to college and just their first time out of the house. But I just feel like with her, you're a grown woman. Like, now you got kids. Do it for your kids.
Yeah, but that's the thing. She's a grown. You got to think, she's young. She married Michael. I most likely know it's for money. She has the prenup. We don't know what's signed in that prenup, what she's going to get. But her fear, she keeps saying, oh, I'm going to be alone. I think her fear is being a single mother. That's a difference. I don't know if she'll take it that if she was single and didn't have any kids, I don't think she would have taken it as bad. But when you're I don't know how involved Michael was either as a dad. The way she made it wasn't. So I'm like, okay, if he's not that involved and you guys could co-parent, it shouldn't be that bad. And you have money to get a nanny. You have one now. Like, you had your family. There are women in worse situations than she is. So when she was crying, I'm like, it seems like her family's willing to help her and be there, support team. So she has that. You're able to afford nannies, and you're not gonna have any money. He's gonna pay child support, whatever.
But I don't think so. But that's why I think even more so that it's because of mainly money and having privilege problems. Like, you are just, I think she's more so like scared about not having that comfy nest egg that she's used to having. Like, even though he's going to provide for her, it's going to be limits to it. He's not there. Who knows what happens if he gets married to someone else and goes off with someone else? Like, she doesn't know. So I think that's her way of trying to still be attached to him, because she does not, I don't think it's about him co-parenting. I think it's more about the money and what he provides, as far as like the luxury lifestyle. I think she's scared of trying to create her own nest egg. Like, she wants to be attached to him. That's why she wants to live with him. She's buying a house with him. All of these things are attached to his wallet. And I think that's what she's more so afraid of.
Well, supposedly in social media, she's dating some other young white guy. I don't know how true that is, but in Ashley's situation, I understand. I mean, anybody would feel like she does.
I don't know. To be married to a creep, like, to me, it's like, I think it's more than just like, when it comes to relationships, I want to be in love. Like, I want to open myself up. Even if it doesn't work out with my husband, I still want to open myself up for love. And I want to be a good example for my children too. I don't want them seeing daddy coming in and out with different women and we living like separate lives. And we're just living together to co-parent. Like, kids are not dumb. Like, even when I was young, like, I knew when there was problems in the household. Like, so to me,
that her son intervened between her and her husband. Like, oh, stop, mommy, stop arguing. So, I mean, I don't know how I feel about Ashley's situation. I looked at her and I was like, yeah, do I feel sad? Do I not? I'm not sure how I feel about her.
I don't feel sad. I feel like that's like, money issue. She married just for money and status. I feel like, I just think and it's being slowly taken away, and that's what's scaring her. I don't think it has anything to do with him co-parenting. Like, he was like some father of the year, like taking care. Please, like, I don't believe it. But
she has her family. It's not like she has nobody. She has her uncle, another male figure that's around her kids. And how I don't know how good of a dad Michael was. I mean, with Ashley, she's doing a lot of TikToks. I don't know what business ventures she would have, but she does TikToks. I mean, some people
She
get money
can
from
have
that.
like just like with Robyn, like a hat line. It doesn't necessarily have to be a hat line like Robyn, but what I'm saying is there are so many opportunities that for to open up a skincare line, a hair line, a wig line. Like she
Yeah,
does
she
different
tried.
things that she could kind of channel. Like, and I just don't think she's so focused on Michael and not losing those, the money train stopping with Michael. I think she's too focused on that and not looking at the bigger picture and providing for herself and her kids. Like be
Well,
an example for your kids.
yeah, she's gaining followers on TikTok. That could be lucrative.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I think she doesn't have the confidence. Once you get that
Yeah,
confidence that you can be on your own and you can do it and you got the power and the strength to do it, she will be fine. I think that's what she's mostly scared of. She is insecure. She needs to just empower herself and know, like, girl, you can do it. And I will be that, like I said, I don't feel bad for her, but I think she just needs to get some
yeah, she
inspiration. The
gotta get
other
some
girl,
money from Michael. He ain't gonna leave her dry. She gotta get something from him.
yeah, but it's not gonna be like right when she
Like
was living
now,
with him.
yeah, and her mother support. He's not gonna. I don't think he supports her mom anymore.
Probably not. And it's still scary of the unknown when you're not with him. How far is it going to go? And how much more support will she get when you're not? It's going to end soon, even if he is providing for 100% now. I will be looking at like how she's probably looking at it a year, 2 years from now. What about if he gets married? What about like if he's just sick of it and you're no longer with him and you're not
Yeah, you
spreading
don't
your
know.
legs and being the concubine that she is to him, like he's absolutely going to change, and she might have to go to court. Like all of these things are scary to think about. But am I feeling bad for her? No. Empower yourself. Have your friends and family. That's what they're doing with to her. They're sort of like empowering her and letting her know, like we're here for you. You can do it. Like
Yeah,
that's what she
yeah,
needs.
yeah. Maybe Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah, her uncle and I think they were empowering her, which was good.
Yeah, and that's what she needs more of that. And I think when she surrounds herself with that, she will eventually
You're
come
okay.
out of that, insecure stage that she's in.
Mm-hmm.
So the next scene is with Candace picking her mom up from the airport.
That's the purpose of that. I mean, their relationship was very shaky, and now it seems like they have a better relationship. But I don't know why they even show that part. There was nothing to that scene for me.
Yeah, filler, just filling up the hour for us.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that's what it is for some of those scenes, like with Wendy and her husband.
yeah.
It's just
Another
like we could have.
airport pickup scene.
Yeah, we could have did without that scene. It was cute, I guess, see mommy and daughter, whatever. The next scene was with Gizelle and her girls and her throwing them a sweet 16 with her ex. And it was cute. I like that. I always loved Gizelle with her kids.
Yeah, it was nice to see. It was funny when she said her kids didn't want to be there. I like that she had a separate party for the women. And I mean, it was only who came? Robyn and Charisse, the other women we didn't know. And I thought it was cute. It was one of those things like, oh, that's nice. And moving around, and her husband was there, her ex husband. So it was nice. It was nice just to see her and her kids.
Yeah, it shows the softy side of Gizelle when she's with her girls. I think that's it kind of gives balance to Gizelle because it's like you hate her, but then you see how wonderful she is with her
As a mom.
girls. Yeah, and how like you could see the hurt, like she doesn't want to let them go. So she's like just doing everything to like give them what they need right now. And I just always love seeing her with her girls, even though it's like not anything big happening, but it's just so nice to see their
Yeah, when
relationship
she
and just
talked about them in the confessional, how great they are. I was like, oh, I had almost one tear in my eye. Almost had one tear in my eye.
that's what I'm saying. Like it gives this other side to Gizelle and how she just wants to like hold on to her girls, but they're getting like she's gonna really be on her own, Gizelle now. This is like her girls are like 16 now. There's like two
Yeah.
more years they're gonna be flying a coop, and it's just like, what does Gizelle have besides? So to me, I feel bad for Gizelle in that instance more so than what's her name, Ashley. Like
And
I feel bad for
she's a great
Gizelle.
mom. She raised three wonderful daughters by herself. That's a lot. 3 girls, 1 house. Oh,
and single, and you don't even have
yeah.
like a man, you're not dating, and you're just, trying to utilize all your time and spend it with your girls, and then eventually they're going to go on their own, and I see the hurt and like, her
I don't
just
know how
wanting to
she'll
hold
do
on
it.
to them.
Hopefully the show still goes on. I want to see how she's going to handle the last day when they're off
I
waiting
know.
to go to college.
She's gonna be like, oh, a mess. Cause I see her now, even when she talks about it, she like tears up like that her kids are gonna be leaving soon. So I love to see her with her girls.
They could go to community college or college nearby too, so and not go away.
Even so, it's still like, oh, your girls coming into womanhood. Like, eventually they're not gonna be still home as much. They have their own lives. They're gonna be
Guys
dating.
or hanging out with you or want to hang out with you. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know she sees it coming soon. So it's all, I feel bad. It gives a softer side. But the next scene is with Candace, Wendy and Robyn.
Wait, the funny scene you forgot to mention with Candace and her mom when they saw that snake. She was like, "Oh, I didn't know Gizelle was coming." I was like, "Oh, that mother got shade."
It's funny because I saw that in one of the posts and I didn't remember that scene. I must have looked away. Like what part was that in? Like
That was when they were getting everything together for the party and they were in the backyard and there was a snake, like, I don't know what kind of snake. And she's like, "Oh my God, Gizelle, I didn't know she was coming." I was dying. That mom.
I actually saw the clip later.
Shady Boots mom. I loved it. Shady Boots mom. I love that scene. I was like, oh my God, that was too funny.
Yes, it reminds me of Candy's mom. They definitely got shade with all of those moms have shade.
All the mothers on there.
As they should. They should be shady. When you come for my daughter, you coming for me, and I would definitely pounce too. So I like it. I love when the moms come out with their claws. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was I guess when Robyn and Wendy were talking, that was at Candace's party, right?
Yeah, Wendy apologized, so it shows how much she values Robyn's friendship, and she missed Robyn. She said it, and when I thought back on what happened, and then Robyn, because at first I was still trying to figure out what the hell's going on between Robyn and Wendy. Why is Robyn acting like this? I thought it was more so geared to Gizelle, but when I think about it, when Robyn explained it, it makes sense. If it was a situation of her and Gizelle, Wendy and Gizelle, and then you brought Robyn into it. Robyn questioned Wendy, but what Wendy said to Robyn about you and your non-existent relationship, because I couldn't remember what Wendy said. I said if I was Robyn, I would have felt the same way, because we're supposed to be cool. If you hadn't been with my friend, there's no reason for you to come at me the way that you did and be so rude and disrespectful about our relationship, because maybe Wendy even started confiding in certain things to Wendy.
And I thought the same thing too. I always knew. I said that on the last episode. Like I always knew that was the underlying reason about like Robyn's anger toward Wendy. I always knew like Robyn never got over Wendy directing all that anger at her because of what Gizelle said, and it was wrong. And I wouldn't get over it either. I would absolutely keep the wedge there between us, because I would never trust anybody that just throws me in it. And then not only that, you're discrediting my relationship, even though we all know like is, Robyn and Juan are weird as far as like not getting married, getting a divorce, they still living together. It is weird. But for you as my friend to just throw that out there and judge me and tell me my relationship is like
non-existent.
Nothing. Yeah, like that is, I would never get over that unless you gave me an apology and understand how I feel. And I think Wendy finally gave that to her.
Yeah, and again, I felt like maybe Robyn did confide in Wendy about certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So it not only it hurt her feelings, like she was hurt, like, oh my God, this is a person I told her certain things. Maybe I didn't even tell Gizelle, or I opened up about. Because Wendy isn't married and in a relationship. Maybe she opened up about certain things, and here you are basically throwing this in my face on camera. Everybody can see it. Oh no, I would have been mad too.
Me too. And you would have to give me an apology on camera. And I think Wendy did do what she needed to do to repair it. So kudos to Wendy for doing what she has to do and holding herself accountable in different situations. Because I see it, even though
Yeah.
Wendy kind of like gives me like, I don't know, bitch vibes sometimes. And I feel like she lashes out a lot of times and goes like ham. But I do like that she can reel it back and hold herself accountable.
I wouldn't be friends with her again. I wouldn't. I would have just been like, okay, well, we'll be cordial, but the friendship we had, we could never have it because I wouldn't be able to trust you.
That's true. But I would still, I don't know, to me, I'm a very forgiving person when you kind of validate how I feel and you really give me a heartfelt apology. I definitely am forgiving in that way. Like you have to give me a heartfelt apology. Let me know how you appreciate me and how you did wrong and you understand what I'm feeling. And then I do give second chances in that instance. Like if you standing 10 toes down and you give me some half-ass apology on some, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. I hate when people say that. So no, but I feel like Wendy was really genuine.
She was, but I don't know. I forget, but I forgive, but I don't forget. So sure, I'll keep her in a distance. I don't know if I would try to be her friend, like before I would kind of be like, Or if I do, we'll be like an associate, but I won't tell you anything about my personal life. We could go out and talk about everybody else.
Yeah,
but
baby steps.
My personal life. So Nima said, you guys are doing such a phenomenal job with your comment today. I may start watching the show. I stopped watching sometime. Girl, watch the show. It's good. This one is good. This season is good.
Yeah, so you can join us in the conversation and engage.
Yes,
it is good.
What we talk about.
And even if you don't watch, we give great recaps like we're doing. And it will inspire you to watch. But if not, you can still engage with us because all of these issues that they experience within the show is real life. Like I'm saying, they talk about forgiveness and friendships and stuff like that. And that's what I'm talking about now. Like I've done it so many times. So, these are all relatable experiences.
Yeah, this was definitely an episode about friendship. Forgiving, mending fences. It was like a good episode of seeing the women coming all together because then I'm like, okay, what's really going to be a conflict? Seeing like everybody's getting along now, except for Wendy and Gizelle, and Karen and Sharice. But after that, seems like.
But they do say Wendy did. Did you see Wendy's post after she hugged it out with Robyn?
No.
She said it's not gonna last long, so don't get comfortable.
She posted that on Instagram.
Yes.
Something else. You see what I'm telling you? I said it out. Well, let's wait and see. Maybe Robyn does something this time.
Something's going to happen. But like I said, Wendy just goes like from 0 to 100 real quick. So I think that's like sometimes she needs to like take it easy. So I don't know whose fault it could be. Maybe Robyn did do something shady, but we'll see. Like you said, I'm predicting that this may be Wendy going from 0 to 100, but we'll see. Robyn has her ways too.
Okay.
So, yeah, the next scene was with Candace and Karen. She apologizes to Karen when she realizes that she did say that she was creeping around.
Yeah, I mean, she did. She fessed up to it. She owned Karen an apology. Karen was grown about it, and she was okay. In a situation like that, I would forgive the person because they took accountability.
Exactly.
And
see,
you with me. Yeah, but that's a different situation between Wendy and the other one. Someone telling my face disrespect about my relationship, that's totally different than someone saying something that behind my back and I'm in, do I believe what they said? Do I not believe what they said? And they're saying, yeah, I really said it. Because the thing is, Robyn and Wendy was totally disrespectful. But with the situation of Candace said, I apologize of what I said. Because remember, she was denying it before.
Okay, but Wendy did the same thing.
Yeah, but Wendy was nasty about it.
But Candace is saying she is disrespecting Karen and her relationship with what's his name, with Ray, because she's saying that she's cheating on. She's been married to Ray for like 100 years. So you're starting rumors saying that I'm cheating on, and with Karen and Ray, she wants to have this like exemplified like relationship that's like this longevity and value, and she just wants to give that type of vibe with her relationship with Ray. And for somebody to come along and you talk about I'm creeping on my 100-year relationship, I think that's problematic.
And if somebody said that behind my, I would forgive them if they came back look for right. The way that Candace did, I would forgive them. I would forgive them more so than Wendy. I would, because one, what the thing is, it's all about how secure you are in a relationship. To me, that's what it is. Robyn is not secure about a relationship. They're in limbo compared to Karen, who seems, and I said seems, we don't know who's a little bit more secure. I have to see where I'm in my relationship. If I'm in a relationship, I'm married, I'm secure. My friend says something to somebody else that I'm cheating with my man, and then she comes like, look, I didn't mean it that way. I just said it. It was something I heard. I repeated. Me and my husband, we good. He knows I'm not cheating. I'm not cheating. I'm fine. Compared to I'm in a situation where talk about marriage is a hot mess going on in my relationship, and now you're adding on to it by saying you think I'm cheating. I would take that personal. I think Karen is somewhat secure in it. She gets upset about certain things, but it's where Robyn was in her relationship and how Wendy embarrassed her. That's the embarrassment, the lashing out in your face. And it was on TV where Karen didn't even hear what Candace said and how she said it. Now, she could watch it on TV and be like, oh, I don't like the way she said it. But she wasn't even present to hear. Like, if I'm not there to even hear what you said and you're my friend, I'm thinking, okay, maybe they had a kiki moment about it. It's not something major compared to what Wendy said to Robyn. So that's why I would forgive Candace more so than I would Wendy.
And I do get it, like what you're saying, to piggyback off that. And I think with Wendy, they were actually friends, and it came off like Wendy was being judgy about, and that's one thing I despise too, about if me and you are friends and I'm confiding in you, or even if I'm not confiding in you and I'm having issues within my relationship or whatever, and then you throw it and use it against me as a weapon, as in a judgy way, that is like, that's another issue outside of like with Karen and Ray. Like, what Candace said wasn't like a judgment or anything. Yeah, she accused her of cheating. Karen knows she's not cheating. Probably she's not. So, I mean, like you said, I think Karen is confident within her relationship, and it was nothing like judgy as a friend. Like, it's something that Candace just said flippantly and like moved along.
And she knows Ray's not gonna give a damn. Now, if you have a husband who's crazy and he's abusive, and he's like, oh, you freaking cheating, he's saying this, it could be true, then that's different. The next thing is with Wendy and Robyn was that when Juan proposed to Robyn, if you could remember that scene, Wendy was I never forgot this scene. She was wearing all white. She had a white hair. She looked really nice. She was the most excited than everybody else in that scene.
True.
Oh my God, screaming on top of lungs. So here I am thinking, you're my friend, you're supportive, you're excited about my wedding or my potential marriage, and I'm maybe telling you certain things or maybe certain insecurities I have about my relationship with my man, and you're going to throw this thing in my face, basically. That's totally different to me. I would not forgive Wendy and not trust her. With Candace, I would. Wendy, I would eventually be like, okay, I accept your apology, but I would never trust to tell her anything again when it comes to my relationship.
Yeah, it would be a long road ahead of us. So yeah, that's true. And then the next scene is with Chris talking to Ray, Karen's husband, and they have a discussion about Gizelle and her accusing Chris of not accusing him, but basically saying that Chris made Gizelle feel uncomfortable when he came to her hotel room.
And that he should apologize. Do you think Chris should apologize to Gizelle?
Absolutely. I think he should. I've been saying from the beginning that I'm with Gizelle on this. I'm with Gizelle on this.
No. Apologize for what?
You're apologizing. If I'm telling you, that's like stepping on my foot and I'm telling you it hurt. It hurts. It affected me.
For what?
for making me feel the way I'm telling you I feel. Like, I don't gotta lie about, and even if I am lying, that's like, listen, let's get over this, be the bigger person. It doesn't mean that you did wrong. And that's what Ray and Juan also said the same thing. It doesn't mean that you're admitting to doing something wrong. If somebody's telling you that you made them feel a certain way, that's the way I feel. That's you just apologizing. You didn't mean to make me feel that way, but it just so happened I do. So let's apologize and then let me know, reassure me that it's never going to happen again. That's all he needs to do. It doesn't have to admit, you don't have to admit that you did wrong. That don't mean that you did wrong. It's just that you just are sympathetic for the way you made someone feel.
I think they need to have a sit down so Gizelle could explain herself and she could opinion. Because I feel like, again, everything is going through what Gizelle told Candace. And again, who knows what Candace told Chris. So she needs to explain, because I think with him, he's saying if I apologize, it's admitting that I did something wrong when I know I didn't do anything wrong.
But it's not. It's not admitting.
I know, but that's what he's thinking in his head. Apologize is it's taking accountability for doing something wrong. I think Gizelle needs to explain what happened and what made her feel uncomfortable, and then he makes a decision if he should apologize. Because again,
no, but we don't listen. No,
Chris and Gizelle never discussed that. What happened? Gizelle saying something over here, Chris is saying something over there. They never spoke about it together. They never had to sit down.
First of all, I'm not speaking to your husband that made me feel uncomfortable. I'm going to my friend, woman to woman.
But there was never
she said enough.
Him and Gizelle. There was never sit down with the three of them. Gizelle, Candace, and Chris.
I'm not sitting down. No, I'm not sitting down with your husband. I'm telling you.
He didn't give you no apology then.
Well, that's just immature. To me, I'm not sitting down with your husband and we having to sit down, all three of us together, when you don't even get it.
If you saying an apology, he doesn't know what Gizelle's saying. He's going now. He knows because he watched the TV and so on. Just Candace went back and told Chris, "Oh, Gizelle says this." Chris is saying, "I didn't say this." This is a back and forth with one middle person, Candace and Robyn, everybody else. But Gizelle and Chris never confronted each other about the situation.
I don't need to confront anyone's husband. I'm coming to you as his wife, and I'm telling you, not only as his wife, as somebody that like, my colleague, whatever you want to call them. I don't need to speak to your husband. You speak to your husband. This is between me and you. I'm telling you that your husband made me feel uncomfortable. Check your husband, and he should. And if he wants to apologize, fine. But you're making it worse by standing 10 toes down on what your husband's saying. You wasn't even there. Like, I'm telling you, I felt uncomfortable. Like, I feel like Gizelle said enough to Candace. I'm not saying no more, and I'm not having to sit down with your husband. You have to deal with that husband that's going into hotel rooms.
If I was in Candace's situation, you're saying something, my man is saying something, we need to sit and talk about this.
Oh, no.
Well, there would be no apology then.
I'm not sitting down with your husband. Why would I need to sit down with your husband?
Why? If you want to, how is he going to apologize? He's just going to go and be like, I apologize. And
but see, that's the thing. But see, this is the thing with Gizelle. She's not even saying, oh, I want an apology. That's what everybody else is saying that he should do, which I believe he should. I do agree with that. Gizelle, and the same thing, if it were me, I wouldn't need an apology from your man. I'm telling you what your man did. Get your man in check. Tell him to keep out of hotel rooms. And then that would be the end of it. Like, I wouldn't need an apology. But everyone else that's telling him to apologize, they're right. I think that they're right. I agree. He should apologize.
The story of Gizelle and Chris makes no damn sense as to why she felt comfortable. He didn't drag you into that room. He didn't persuade you into that room. You were just uncomfortable because there was a bed in the room. And because it was a bedroom. She didn't say he did anything. He didn't say anything. He didn't touch you. He didn't do anything. I'm still trying to figure out what made her uncomfortable, because there was a bed there. That your mind went there.
Again, you can't tell anyone else how to feel and what makes them uncomfortable.
Correct.
If I'm telling you that I'm uncomfortable, it is what it is. There's no negotiating how I feel, and you're telling me how to feel.
She didn't say what did he do that made her uncomfortable. What did he do? She never said.
Okay, no one was in the room. He's complaining about his woman to her, drinking, drunk. I don't even know how inebriated he was, but
Did
he
they say he
came
was
to.
drunk?
She said they was drinking. It was after the reunion, and you know how they be having drinks. It was after the
I don't
reunion.
remember her saying he was drunk.
I remember her saying that he was drinking. That, and I remember it being after the reunion and him being
Okay.
upset. And it was after the reunion. They drink at that reunion. You know, they have the
Okay. Yeah,
toast.
yeah.
They
And then
they be back. The men are backstage taking shots and all kind of stuff. I believe he was, from what she said, he was drinking. So when you
okay.
have these different variables, you're drinking. It's afterwards. I don't know how late it was. No one is in the hotel room. You're complaining about your wife to me. Like, these things are making me feel uncomfortable, where it gets to the point where I'm kind of like nudging you out the door.
But
So
you
to me,
went in the room with the man. You went there. She went with him. They went through. They had to walk to the room all this time. This ding 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 ding. She walked. It's not like he met her. They walked to the room together. Did just
okay, but
said.
listen, this is where it gets to the point. Like I said, there's things that Gizelle could have learned from this also. But to me, it was like, the way I picture it happening is they walk to the room. He's complaining about Candace. She's opening up the door, and she's like, to me, I would have put my foot out and I would have kept talking to him at the door. Gizelle probably opened it thinking like it was the end of the conversation. He probably just came on in after her. And then at that point, sometimes people are slow moving, slow thinking with things. I don't know at what point she felt like, okay, this is weird. Because sometimes it don't instantly, it's not instant that we feel a certain way. There's no timeline to make me feel how I feel. Like, he could have been in the room and then it's like, ugh, this is feeling kind of weird now. Let me tell him he needs to kind of make his exit out. Like, I don't know at what point, but no matter what point it was, there's no deadline, no timeline to tell me that I'm feeling a little icky, or I'm feeling uncomfortable with this situation. I felt uncomfortable enough to tell your husband to make an exit and leave.
First of all, I don't think she should have said anything to Candace. If that's what happened, there's nothing to tell Candace. There's nothing. You think if that I was in that situation, I'll go tell my friend, oh, your husband made me feel comfortable. The man didn't touch you. He didn't say nothing to you. When you asked to leave, he left. What am I telling her? What are you telling her that for? I would not.
Listen,
I would have to feel uncomfortable if he said something, did something. It would have to be solid proof of why I feel comfortable.
I don't have to listen. If your husband is in my room, I don't care. I don't want anybody's husband, and that's me too. That's why I agree with Gizelle. I don't want your husband in my hotel room. Like, I don't have to tell you, oh my God, I'm feeling goosebumps. I'm feeling weird. Like, no, I'm uncomfortable. That's it. I don't got to give you a reason.
But she allowed him in the room.
Okay, she allowed, and then she told him to get out. He came and she told me
so. I wouldn't tell my friend at that point.
I would tell him. I don't know where this could take legs and go off to later on. He might say I came on to him or something. I don't know, because it's happened to me before when I felt like with a friend who did something similar to that, and I didn't even say nothing about it. I went to my quick story. I was driving, and my god kids was outside. And they was like, I was passing by their house, but since they was outside, Elisa, come in. So I was like, let me come in. But I knew my girlfriend was at work. But these are my god kids. I love them. They was at work. So mind you, I'm playing with my god kids. I didn't even see her husband, but he happened to be in the room. But this was so many years ago. And you know how kids are fascinated with cameras and stuff? They would always go through my bag. They took out my camera. They started running around the house. One of them started taking pictures of everything. So she happened to take a picture in the room with the husband. Now, she took a picture of him in the room, in the bed. So mind you, later on, now I'm talking about years later. I never erased pictures. I have pictures for on my Google account for years. The kid go through my bag again, taking the pictures out. So they going through the picture. She sees the picture now.
Whoa, child.
But mind you, it's amongst like a million other pictures of the wall, of this, of that. Like, it was so many random pictures. To me, you would know like a kid took these pictures. Like, stop it. Like, it was so many pictures within that picture and surrounding that picture. So it was nothing said that day. Nothing. Now, mind you, this was from years ago. So then I get home. She calls me. She's like, my husband want to know why you got a picture of him half naked. And I was like, he want to know. I was like, ask him if we effing each other. If he wants to know, like, ask him. And you don't call me. That's between you and him. But ask him. So to me, I felt like he had a problem between like, because that was like my best friend. And I felt like he was trying to create like a problem between me and her. Because at the end of the day, he knew that wasn't me that took the picture. Like, but he created this problem. And that's what I'm saying. Maybe I should have never went in the house. I should have never left. I should have never had the kids. Because I know he knows we wasn't doing nothing. He knew I didn't come in the room. These husbands, because they know how I get down, I feel like they be scared of me. They don't even come out the room when I'm in the vicinity. And he did not, I swear, he did not even come out the room. So for him to even insinuate and put the bug in her ear, that was like he was trying to create a problem. So maybe the way I feel about Gizelle. What'd you say?
Maybe Gizelle trying to create a problem.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't know. It could be, like I said, this could be the situation. And maybe this is from my past history that I feel the way I feel about the Gizelle situation. You don't know what Chris could have said later on down the line, like what my friend's husband did. I didn't do nothing. I was just there with the kids. Like I did nothing. So who knows what Candace's husband later on, if he get mad at Gizelle, yeah, she had me up in her hotel room giving me googly eyes. Or something like that. So to me,
but what I'm saying, if I was in Giselle's position, I would be like, oh, Chris, after the reunion, he came in my room and he was just talking about you, girl. You need to talk to us because he's going through it. That's it. I would not say anything else I would not.
But you can't tell somebody what makes them feel uncomfortable.
No,
so you can't say, like Gizelle said, she felt uncomfortable. And that's what I'm saying. And not only that, like Candace and Chris, you see, back to the scene, you see the way he reacted about just apologizing. Like they are really, I think they're more so dragging this storyline than Gizelle is. And that's what I'm saying about these men and not wanting to apologize and hold themselves accountable and not taking ownership of what they did wrong. And even if Gizelle was wrong, like I said, I feel like maybe I shouldn't have went in with my godkids. I'm holding myself accountable for that. But I know nothing happened. But what I'm saying is, it snowballed from there. And if I would have and it's the same thing with Gizelle. Like maybe she should take some accountability too, but so does Chris. And as the wife, Candace, I would tell my husband and I would also tell Gizelle, like, listen, y'all both need to take ownership for what you both did in this scenario. I just feel Candace is such in denial and she just hates to even think about somebody feeling the way that they did, like how Gizelle felt, that she does not, they just like totally overlooking how I feel they both need to take some accountability for this.
Well, I'm Team Chris and Candace on this. I'm Team Chris and Candace.
And you think the way he reacted?
Okay, I would have this conversation with my husband. Again, it depends on the type of relationship I have. Again, I'm looking at the type of relationship I have. It depends on the type of man you have. Then I would know. But for me to have him apologize to her, for what?
Again, for making me feel uncomfortable. And just to know, if that were my husband, I would tell him, listen, don't you ever be going into no one's hotel room after, first of all, don't go into no one's hotel room. I don't care if it's daytime, nighttime, whatever. These are things that can be avoided. That's what I'm saying. I just think you telling me there's nothing he needs to take ownership of, nothing?
That part.
Exactly. That's the link. But they're not doing.
Like, why the hell did you go to her in the first place? Now look what happened.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. Like, they both can take some ownership in this whole scenario. And do you think it was normal the way he reacted after Ray said, like, him stomping around acting like a little kid?
Yeah, there's a lot of effing people on this side. I'm like, oh, sheesh. She didn't wasn't there for Candace's speech. He wasn't even there he was very upset, sitting outside pouting.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like they overreact. Like, it didn't even deserve that type of reaction just because Ray is giving you advice man to man. Like, it wasn't even like Gizelle said it. Candace didn't say it. Like, this is somebody just in the friendship group giving you like an honest opinion, some advice as an older man, having wisdom. Like, why are you stomping off? Like cursing, missing your wife's speech. Like, to me, all of this relates back to immaturity. Like, and I think that's a part of the problem too with him and Candace. They're immature.
Especially Candace. Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe in the reunion, Gizelle get an apology.
I doubt it. They never, the way that they're acting now and how immature that they are now, I think the apology will probably come in. Candace would need to be like 50 years old, probably get some more wisdom. Like, I think that's the only time that we'll see an apology, a couple of decades from now.
Yeah. And it also depends on my friendship with that individual.
Yeah.
It all depends who it's coming. For me, it is a lot of variables. Who it's coming from? Is this a close friend of mine? Do I even value our friendship? I could tell by whatever. Like, it all depends.
Exactly.
It all depends.
Yes. So we'll see. And they released did they just release the mid-season trailer? Or I think we discussed that the last time.
Yeah, I mean, they just showed next episode. That's how it ended, just with her speech. That was how this episode ended, with Candace's speech.
With Chris like stomping off, like having a tantrum.
Sitting outside, drinking. Yeah, so that was it for this episode. In the next episode, they're gonna show the live podcast of Gizelle and Robyn.
And then I think Karen too, right? Aren't they gonna show something with? I don't remember, but she was on.
Like Candace went. Karen went to their podcast. It seems like she's taking notes for what she's gonna use on her podcast.
They asked her about it on Andy's Watch What Happens Live, because she was on there with Eva. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw some parts.
Yeah, and she basically, someone called in and asked, like, does she think that she's copying Gizelle and Robyn? And she was just like, no, I'm not. Like, no, it's two different things. When it's kind of like, it's definitely a lot similar than there are differences.
Well, Karen's getting her own show soon.
Again?
No, she didn't have her own show. She had her own
with
show.
With the family. Did she have her own show with her family? I think it flopped.
I didn't think it came out yet. I think it was in February. It came out already?
It did. I thought it came and went. I wasn't gonna watch it anyway, wasn't it? I thought it.
I don't think it came out.
No, it did. I think it did, because I remember Karen had the niece at the BravoCon when I was there, and I remember people recognizing the niece from the show, or maybe it was from Potomac. Maybe the niece. I assumed that niece was from her family, whatever it's called, Karen Family Values or whatever the show was called. I thought it came on.
No, I don't think it came on yet.
Well, let us know down below. I don't know. I
don't know. I saw a commercial for it. I don't know if it came on
recently.
Yeah, I actually wanted to watch it. So I don't know if it came. Let us know if it came on. Are you gonna be watching it? Do you agree with Elisa? Do you agree with me? Are you team Chris and Candace? Are you team Gizelle? Should Chris apologize? Let us know. Comment, to put in the chat. Continue to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Soon we'll let you know about our Facebook and our Instagram page. So continue to watch our lives.
Yes. Toodles.
Bye.